Now that just seems nuts to me. Like, if you do have a diet like that, I'm pretty sure that your body fat percentage is going to get pretty low. But we're not just talking about a man who got his body fat percentage really low, right? We're talking about a man that still had some musculature to him. Simon of the Bald A-hole here. If you're looking at me going, Simon looks like he's been through the wars the last few days, it's because I have. Quick aside, I may have lost a stone in 3 days without even trying, which to some of you be like,
oh my gosh, what's this kind of supplement I wanted?
It's called getting stomach flu. If you want to lose a stone in 3 days, get stomach flu. You don't want stomach flu. It's the worst thing ever. I have terrible bad luck at the moment. I broke my hand. I got stomach flu. I'm just an absolute moron in general. But let's not worry about that. Instead, let's talk about Sylvester Stallone. Completely screwed up his name there, but I'm going to blame it on the stomach flu. Anyway, Sylvester, Sly, whatever the hell you want to call him, posted this picture recently. And let's just read the caption, which is where we're going to have some fun. I'm going to make sure we cycle through the pictures that he posted as we read it. He said, funny flashback because I have nothing interesting to report today. This is prepping for the Mr. T fight. He was one strong dude, trust me. This is also the lowest weight and body fat I ever was, 166 pounds and 2.8% body fat. That was tough. Of course it's got 2.8% body fat. Now look, there's every chance this may be a correct statement of fact. I don't know. It's like that time, didn't Ronnie Coleman once said that he was like -% body fat or 0% body fat or something like that? It's like, Ronnie, you are a specimen of a man. You are probably the greatest genetic freak of all time, but I don't believe that to be true. And I would be very dubious that Sylvester Stallone got down to 2.8%. Now, that's not me saying that, you know, he didn't put the work in, he wasn't incredibly dedicated. Of course he was. My word, you can go through all the man's films and see how his body shifts around and changes to know that he is a bona fide member of the fitness palace of love. But I read this and I was like, well, somebody out there has got to talk about what he ate, what he did. It can't be the first time he just threw it out there. And I was able to find out some information. So here's what he says he was eating. Now, to be fair to old Sly, he does say that it was a dangerous diet, which is always a wonderful thing to hear. But he also said that his meals consisted of very small portions of oatmeal cookies made with brown rice and up to 25 cups of coffee a day with honey and a couple of scoops of tuna fish. And he'd also admit that he would get so lightheaded and exhausted while filming boxing rounds that he'd go to a corner and literally do a handstand to get blood flowing back into his head. Now that just seems nuts to me. Like, if you do have a diet like that, I'm pretty sure that your body fat percentage is going to get pretty low. But we're not just talking about a man who got his body fat percentage really low, right? We're talking about a man that still had some musculature to him. And I don't understand how you'd be able to do that kind of a thing. Like, you're just not getting enough stuff in you in order to keep the muscles going, because do not forget, you need to feed the muscles. You need to feed your muscles. That's why we get into these crazy things where people are like, oh my gosh, I've got to eat 7,000 calories a day because muscles need to grow and muscles need to eat. There is logic to that, but people just take it to the extreme when there's no need. I can only assume that what he is referring to here, like, how the hell do I know, right? I'm just some idiot on the internet. But surely he means he was doing this in the couple of days beforehand, like when people dehydrate before bodybuilding contests. If you don't know, what's it called? Water cycling, I think. And you basically spend half of the week, the early half of the week, drinking a bunch of water, and then say you've got a show on Sunday. Essentially, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you go, you know, like a litre of water Wednesday, half a litre Thursday. I'm just making up these things. And then, but the point is, by the time you get to Saturday, you're like in the desert going, water, water. I need water, but no one's going to give you water unless you have some kind of butler. And if you do, you're rich. Why are you doing bodybuilding competitions? Just go lay in the yacht. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. You walk around on none of that food. I don't think he looks 2.9%. I don't have laser eyes like my man Greg Doucette. So hopefully he does something about this and we can defer to him because he will give you the official result on what Sly's body fat was. But it's just a weird diet as well. Why would you have oatmeal cookies made with brown rice? I've never even heard of that. I find it very, very, very strange, but it is fascinating, and fair play to Stallone as well, because he came out and he said that, you know, while he may have looked good on the outside, and he does look really super lean in that movie, on the inside, he felt like he was about to keel over and die. Probably, Sly, because your body was sending you signals going, I'm going to keel over and die. And in the article where I found all this information, a few of them, they said, oh, he got down to 2.9% like most pro bodybuilders do. I think most pro bodybuilders get down to 2.9%. Again, maybe I'm massively incorrect when it comes to that, but when you kind of, you know, try and find more information on that, most are around sort of 4, 5 or something like that, which is still nuts. Think about that. 4, 5% of body fat. So 95% of your body fat is anything but fat. So I went and looked it up because I wanted to know for sure. And the standard take is that some bodybuilders could get down to sort of 3-5% body fat. So if you're 2.9% body fat, I'm sure a pro bodybuilder has gone down into that. But they're not shooting a Hollywood movie. Like, I totally understand that they're still on stage doing a crazy amount of work. Like, sometimes you read such disparaging comments about what a bodybuilding competition is. Like, do you know how hard that is? Like, I've done one and I kind of flubbed it whole up and it was still hard. It was still incredibly difficult. Who even knows? 25 cups of coffee a day too. 25 cups of coffee. Like, I am so caffeine sensitive. We've done videos on the channel here before. I can't have one without almost falling on the floor because there's something wrong with me. Clearly, we've established this. But 25 cups of coffee with no sustenance going in. His heart must have been doing backflip. No wonder you felt like you were going to die of Sly. Apparently Sly is down here. It's just where my phone is. But I don't know. And I've actually just noticed here on a different post that Sly wrote, I was on a very high protein diet, which did not provide much physical or mental energy. During the period, I only ate very small portions of oatmeal cookies with brown rice and a couple of scoops of tuna fish. Where's the high protein? If you have a couple of scoops of tuna fish, I mean, does that count as a meal? Or does that count as what you're eating in an entire day? And also, does someone come in with some calipers and just go, wow, Sly, you're 2.9%. And I don't want to take this away from what he did. Like, he was incredibly dedicated to getting that lean, as you can see in the Rocky movies. I suppose the main reason for this video is don't feel like you ever need to get down to 3% body fat. Unless, of course, you are competing for a competition. But even then, unless you're like an IFBB pro, which I'm going to assume you're not, and if you are, thanks for watching. Why are you watching? You need nothing from me. You've already smashed it. You don't need to get down to that lower percent body fat. You're going to feel like death because you pretty much are at death's door. You're not doing it for a competition. You'll look not just as good. You'll probably look better at 8%, 10%, 12%. Well, it depends what you want. I actually like that sort of lean rip look, but it's not sustainable. And you're not going to be able to hold it for a long period of time. So there's almost no point going for it unless you are trying to do something with it, be it competition or photo shoot or something like that. I completely understand. But in terms of a walking around weight where your mental health can match up with your physical health, I think you're still going to look flipping fabulous at 8 to 10% body fat. I don't think I've ever said the word fabulous, but we've thrown it out, thrown it out there now, and you don't have to go to these kind of crazy extremes. Although saying that, getting below 10% body fat is going to require a lot of dedication on your end and probably some great genetics if you want to sort of, still be pretty muscular as well. We talked about it before, but that's the main problem I had with my bodybuilding competition. I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing. It's the first time you do anything, it's a learning curve, but I sacrificed way too much muscle. I probably just cut too long. I don't know what the right word would be, but as soon as you get under that 10% range, you're going to take your top off and someone randomly is going to go, like in Saved by the Bell that used to happen back in the day. But there you go. Sylvester Stallone, 2.9% body fat. And that got me to thinking, what was Arnold Schwarzenegger's lowest body fat? Because, they were going one-on-one in Hollywood back in the day. Actually, it's kind of interesting. Of course, bodybuilding was massively different when Arnie was doing it, and most bodybuilders would get down to around about 6 to 8%. But when it came to most of his roles, again, you've always got to take it with a pinch of salt, because why are we going to disbelieve Sly, but completely believe Arnold? He did an interview where he said most were about 12% body fat. Now, I get it's completely different. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a genetic freak. Arnold Schwarzenegger is like 71 now, and you can still tell he lifts weight. You're like, how? How have you done this, you crazy, crazy man? Did Sylvester Stallone get to 2.9% body fat? I don't know, is the answer. What a great result to this video. I just read these things and it just drives me crazy. Mostly, I just needed a video to do today that I could edit simply because I just want to lay down and cry. But I'm not allowed to lay down and cry because I have to be near another certain room at all times. Now, please do leave a comment below, like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the video out there. Give it a click should you so fancy. Twitter and Instagram is at Simon316, patreon.com/Simon316 if you would like support financially, that would be great. Simon.bigcartel.com for merchandise. Get your Flexus tees, although I think we're quite low at the moment, so we need to sell through that stock and I'll get more in. Otherwise, have a great day. If you're training, absolutely smash it, and I'll see you on the next one.